Hello everyone. Welcome to Beach World tonight. I'm Lexus Chan. Thank you so much for joining today's sharing. So tonight our main channel is in English. If you want to listen to other language interpretation, please click the button on the right corner, okay, to select the language you prefer. Okay, so I saw our audience is from around the world, different cities. Please leave the message on the live chat to show where you are and say hello to everyone. Welcome, everyone. Okay, welcome to this world. So tonight's topic is very important for the one who likes to sport. So, do you like sport? Okay, for example, riding bicycle, to play football, to play basketball, badminton, and swimming, and so on. Okay, so please also can share which kind of sport and exercise you prefer and how often you will do in your daily life. Okay, just leave the message on the live chat. Okay, so if you cannot do exercise every day, and also you find sometimes when you're doing exercise or workout, the performance is not like before. So, do you know why? What is the reason? Maybe you are busy, you have no time to do exercise or do sport. Maybe by our aging, then our performance and body situation is not like before. So we cannot do all things like we still young. Okay. So any other reason you cannot join? This is very important for today's sharing. So when we talk about doing sport and exercise, I think some of you may join our sharing in the previous weeks. So you know how important it is for your body health. Okay, do more sport, do more exercise. So you will have some more questions on doing exercise and workout. So what type of exercise is the best for your body health? Okay, maybe some of you will ask this question, and some of you maybe we will ask what we can do to fulfill the body needs before, during, and after the daily exercise. And also some of you may have question, okay, what can we do to have a better sport performance? Okay, so if you have interest on today's topic, just stay in the room. And also, if any one of your friend may get interest on tonight's sharing, please contact them right now to invite them to join and learn more. Okay, so tonight we will invite an expert from Australia who have more than 30 years experience on anti-aging researching. And also this gentleman is also one of the member of Bisworld's Smart Lab panel. Okay, so let's welcome Dr. Fernando Cortizo. Welcome, Dr. Fernando.
Hi. Can you hear me well?
Yeah. Good evening, Dr. Fernando. Okay, so
Good
everyone say hello to Dr. Fernando tonight. Okay, so great.
Hi.
As you see, Dr. Fernando is always forever young. Okay, so tonight, Dr. Fernando will share you more information about maximizing nutrition for performance. If you have any question about this topic during Dr. Fernando's sharing, please leave your question on the live chat, no matter on Zoom or on YouTube. Please just leave this message. Then after Dr. Fernando sharing, we will have the question and answer session, and we will pick some of the question for Dr. Fernando, and Dr. Fernando will help to answer. Okay, so we cannot wait anymore. Dr. Fernando, please.
Hi everyone. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here. And as you said before, Mr. Cheng, you know, there's so many people from so many different countries. I can see people from Thailand, from Philippines as well. Let me see. Some from Malaysia, I think. certainly Indonesia. Some of you from Bekasi. I'm from Bekasi, so I'm in around where you are, Bekasi area. So it's wonderful to have you here. Make yourself known in the comments and say hello. From Cambodia, we have. Excellent. Cambodia is a wonderful place. Anybody else? Okay, so let's get started. So today's topic is a very important topic because I think you're going to find that in this time in your life, you're going to certainly need to exercise. And exercise is one of the things that we have to do either by pleasure, because we like it, or because we have to. Someone is from Timor, Leste, so welcome. So sometimes we have to exercise for a very simple health reason and for other reasons as well, in order for us to stay healthy and to attain the level of fitness that we are looking for. And this fitness is an extremely important level that we have to achieve, that we need in order to offset diseases, in order to offset certain effects that come with aging. So if you want to stay young, you have to exercise 100%. Right? If you don't exercise, you're not going to be able to control your aging process, okay? Now, I'm going to share a presentation with you, and then we're going to talk about this topic, which is certainly a very interesting topic. It's something that most of you are going to find of great help, great significance for you, because it will assist you, it will help you to sustain your health, to maintain the state of fitness and your youth as you grow older and as we grow older. Now, what we're going to talk about today is about how to maximize nutrition to have the best performance in exercise. And then my point tonight for you is that everyone has to exercise. Now, I hear people that say you have to exercise if you're old or if you're getting older. But let me tell you, today, we all have to exercise. And I think you have to get the children also gear for exercise performance. You have to get your young children, you should get your teenager children, you need to get the young adults, middle-aged people, older people, and very, very, very old people. So I just tell you that we have one person that we have been helping for many years, and he is in fact 98 years old. 98, right? 98 years old, and is still exercising on a daily basis, okay? And then because of the exercise, this person at 98, almost 100, is able to walk, is able to be independent, is able to do all the things we want to do. So exercise is very critical. Now, remember, as we proceed in this presentation, I am not going to give you medical advice. You need to contact your local doctor, which will be able to advise you on medical matters. And this information that we provide you is for educational purposes and for you to be able to transform, to change your lifestyle to a much more successful lifestyle and much more effective in order for you to stay young forever. Now, the first point is I have to tell you that I have been involved in sports for a long time. And then in the late 1990s and early 2000s, I was part of a team. And this team was called the Dry Pack Porsche cycling team. Now, this was a professional team that was the brainchild, if you want, the inventor or the leader of this team was Mr. Drypack, a very astute, very smart businessman who was also very keen with himself and his family in supporting this program. And this program was directed not just to exercise, but also for educational purposes. So Mr. Drypak joined forces with Porsche, you know, the very famous Porsche car company. And then they set up the Drypak Porsche team. I was the medical and scientific director for a while. And then I managed to learn many, many great things. This was an amazing project, not just to train young people to become athletes, but also to educate them and to prepare them for life after exercise, after their athletic careers, right? We launched the Drypak Porsche in Melbourne a long time ago, and here you see Mike McKay. I mean, maybe you know this gentleman. Is Mike McKay. He's one of the very famous, what they call them, Awesome Foursomes, which was the very successful Olympic rowing team, which took most of the gold medals in international Olympics and also in Australian and the Commonwealth Olympics. So we were part of a very interesting team, people trying to find a way to be able to support professional athletes with nutrition and intervention, that is taking action to help them to achieve maximum performance. And I learned many things with this group. It was a fantastic project and very interesting group. And some of the things that I learned, I want to talk to you about. And the first one is that this is something that you have to remember. Water alone does not hydrate properly, right? Water, sendiri, right? Water alone does not hydrate properly. And then, so when many of you tell me, oh yes, I use reverse osmosis, okay? I'll say, well, reverse osmosis water is not necessarily the best water for you to drink because it has nothing inside. And now we know that water has particular memory, and that's been disputed. It's been argued for many years, probably 40 or 50 years. But now we know water alone does not hydrate properly. Okay, so the best way to do it, for example, with reverse osmosis is a great process. It will give you clean water, but it will have nothing inside. Okay, and just plain water alone is not enough to hydrate your body. So you have to add some minerals to the water for proper hydration. You have to add something to the water so that the water will, in fact, enter your body and hydrate your body properly. Okay? So remember this. When you are drinking water alone, you're not doing yourself a favor. In Indonesia, we have fantastic water. And believe it or not, the water from the water table, which is extracted from the underground, is actually full of magnesium, calcium, and very important minerals. So the Indonesian water is really a very good water. Of course, you have to look after it properly, but it will provide you with this hydration process. Now, what else do we learn? I learned when I was in that team, I learned that regular exercise is extremely important. So if you're going to exercise, you have to do it regularly. Now, exercise is to be done, if not every day, every second day. If not every day, you must exercise every second day, okay? Now, another very important lesson that I learned from this original athletic group that I work with is that do not drink or eat food with high sugar 30 to 60 minutes before exercise. And I'm going to explain to you how we got to that point. Do not drink or eat food with high sugar 30 to 60 minutes before exercise. Now, we learned this process, this particular fact. We learn that as the athletes are going into a race or training, they tend to drink water with sugar, sugary drinks, very sweet drinks, right? And then suddenly they suffer from hypoglycemia. It means they suffer from very low blood sugar, which makes the exercise and the competition very difficult. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you more about this. So what we learn is that low glycemic index drinks and food are very important. Okay, low glycemic index, it means that drinks and food that will not raise your blood sugar significantly. In other words, that the raise of your blood sugar has to be very small. And there is a process, okay? It is a process that I'm going to explain to you that happens when you drink food, when you drink drinks or you take food that has sugar. What happens to your performance, okay? Now, we learn also that good nutrition is very important. And we learn that for long times, for a very long time, as you enter into competition, good protein in your nutrition is extremely, extremely important, okay? And we learn that good fiber also becomes super important, very, very important for your exercise, your physical performance in general, okay? Now, I often get asked this question, do you really need to exercise? I hate exercise, I don't like it, okay? And I would say the answer is absolutely yes. Daily and regular exercise is very important because when you exercise daily and regularly, okay? Remember this point, a regular exercise, it has to become part of your life, okay? So we know it will help you to lose weight, okay? Very important point. It also will help you to slow down your aging and looking younger. So the more you exercise, the younger you will look, okay? It will produce more energy for you. So the constant exercise, people say to me, I don't have enough energy to exercise. So it's a catch-22 situation. I don't know if you know that term. It means no matter what we do, we will lose because I have no energy now. So if you want me to exercise, I cannot do it because I don't have the energy to exercise. But let me tell you, to break that vicious circle of low energy, you have to exercise for a while. Once you exercise, the body will produce the energy that you need with the right nutrition, okay? So you will get more energy. Exercise regularly will help you to be healthier and to have a more muscular body, okay? And a more muscular body for men and for women is in fact more attractive. It's healthier, but it's also more attractive, right? If you have a muscular body, you will find that you will look better. The clothes on you will look better. You'll be able to be more confident and you'll be able to show yourself publicly more, okay? Now, regular exercise is very important in preventing chronic diseases. So remember this point, that to prevent chronic diseases, we need to exercise regularly, okay? And there is a whole range of chronic diseases that can be impacted, can be affected by exercise. The same way, if you don't exercise from the time you are young, you will suffer from many chronic diseases. For example, diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular problems, okay? Varicose veins, right? And all of these things will happen because you have not exercised, okay? And if you want to live longer and be happier, exercise is the key. It's very, very important. A long life will actually come about. It will happen if you exercise on a regular basis. Now, what type of exercise is the best? So this is a very important question because people want to know, what exercise do I have to do to benefit? Now, it really depends on what you want to achieve, okay? Remember, I'm assuming that here, our group and people who are tuning in, coming into our program tonight, want to exercise, number one, because of health conditions, to improve your health. Number two, to look better, to lose weight, and also to live longer, okay? we use exercise as an anti-aging strategy, right? As an anti-aging technique. And it's one of the, I will tell you this now, the exercise is one of the very few things you can do, which has been demonstrated by science, that it would actually act as an anti-aging activity. Okay, so exercise has all the right support, all the right information behind. Okay, now I always say this: no matter what you want to achieve, no matter what you want to do, the best exercise for you is the exercise that you do, as long as you do it. You know, very often people talk about, yes, I'm going to exercise, yes, I'm going to do it, but they never do it, right? Because they always find an excuse. They say, not tonight, I will start tomorrow, I will start on Friday, I will start next week, maybe next year, right? Now that's not correct. That is not suitable. The best exercise is the one that you do as long as you do it. Okay, so there are no specific types of exercises that you should do. And what you need to do now is to actually do something. Okay, the exercise that you do regularly and every day, that's what you have to do. And I really don't care what you're going to do. Are you going to walk? Are you going to swim? Are you going to play tennis? Are you going to play basketball, volleyball? You know, are you going to do exercise bicycle? Are you going to bike? Whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. Okay? Remember this, you have to do it. If you don't do it, it doesn't matter what you do, because nothing will change. So any exercise that you actually do would be the best exercise for you. Okay? As you spend more and more years thinking about how should I exercise, what exercise should I do, then it's getting later and later and later for you. So start doing something now, today, okay? And I always say to you, move, always move. If you move, movement is the key for a good exercise. So always try to stay active, become active, do things not with the car, but with your legs. Don't take the car to drive 100 meters just around the corner. Walk anywhere you can. Use your body. Move. Always move. That is really the most important lessons that you can take. Okay? Now, so what type of exercise technically is better for you? All right. So I said before, whatever you do is a good exercise. But I'm going to rate the exercises in here. Okay, so this is from 1 to 9. There's actually 10 in here, but let's say 1 to 9. Number 1 is the best exercise. Number 9 is the one that I will do last, right? That will be my last choice. So I explained to you before our previous session that HIIT is possibly the best training for us. Okay, and then with HIIT, we can develop muscle mass, we can have more endurance, more energy, we can have more muscle mass, and we can have more resistance to training. We can actually look younger. It will help us to improve our heart, and it will help us to improve our blood circulation. It will help us to improve our brain activity, our memory, right? So it's called high intensity intermittent training. Now remember that this is, what is this? This is in fact a form of training where it doesn't really matter what you do. Let's say you can bounce a ball, okay? You can use a skipping rope, okay? You can use an exercise bike, or you can do weights, as long as you can use any form of exercise, but you do it in a certain way. And this way is you have to train 5 minutes once or twice a day, okay? It's enough. And I'll tell you the truth, it's truly enough. I do 5 minutes 3 times a day, but if you do 5 minutes 1 time a day, 2 times a day, or 3 times a day, you will get results. And what you do is you do short periods of maximum exercise for 30 seconds. You understand? So this is a 30 seconds maximum exercise. So if you are, for example, if you are walking. Okay, you need to walk at the fastest possible rate, as fast as you can. And I'm talking about maximum, right? For 30 seconds, and then have a rest for 1 minute or 2 minutes. And then do another 30 seconds and have a rest for 1 minute and 2 minutes. And then do it again. Total of 5 minutes is enough. Now, if you're lifting weights, what I say to people is you use the maximum weight that you can lift without hurting yourself. Okay, so be careful with that. And then do maximum intensity training, lifting your weights for 30 seconds. Okay, so you have 30 seconds on, 1 or 2 minutes off, 30 seconds on, 1 or 2 minutes off, and you do it for a total of 5 minutes. Now, believe it or not, 5 minutes of this form of training is better. It has been shown in studies that it is better than, let's say, aerobic training for 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 2 hours. Okay, it's better. It's better results for you. It's not going to put so much pressure on your time, not so much pressure on your body, and actually give you better results. So if you, maybe one day in the future, in the very near future, we can do a whole section on just high intensity intermittent training. But remember what you have to do, no matter what exercise you do, whether you do exercise bike, or you're swimming, or you are walking, or you're lifting weights, or you're playing tennis, whatever you decide to do, you have to do 30 seconds of maximum energy, maximum activity, okay? And then stop and have a rest for 1 minute, 2 minutes. Then you do it again, right? Another 30 seconds, and then again and again. So maybe one day we can do a demonstration, a live demonstration. Perhaps I will discuss that with Biswell to see if we can do a live demonstration on how to do this form of exercise properly. But that is the best form of training. Now, the second one is resistance training, which I think you know. And resistance training is essentially about using either, you can use long rubbers, you know, lifting training, resistance rubbers that you pull, and then you pull like that, okay? And it provide resistance to your muscle mass. You're actually pushing something to be extended for about 20 or 30 seconds, and then you let it go. So resistance training also is about weightlifting. And weightlifting is in the top of our choice. Weightlifting is, in fact, the one that I really prefer to use if I don't like the high intensity training. So weightlifting will keep you young, will keep you healthy, and is, in fact, the key to longevity, right? Because weightlifting will produce more growth hormone naturally in your body without any artificial injections of growth hormone. It will improve your hormones. It will improve your testosterone in your body, and it will improve other hormones, which are very important for you to stay young and to stay energetic and dynamic. Okay, so weightlifting is the key. Now, exercise bike is my other preference. You know, I think it's very useful, very successful. If you do it properly, you'll get many benefits. Other forms of sports are all welcome. You know, if you decide to do basketball, if you decide to do volleyball, if you decide to just throw the ball in the beach or outside in the backyard, in the back of your house, everything is good. Now, swimming used to be very high up, but we find these days it's becoming more and more difficult to swim, especially because of the lockdowns and then other related problems. You have to be vaccinated in some places to go inside a swimming pool. It's not really convenient, right? Sometimes the swimming pools are not properly kept. You know, if you can swim in the ocean, it would be amazing. Or in a river, it would be amazing. But swimming, it's good, but it's not on the top of our choices in terms of exercise. Walking, everybody says to me, when I tell them you have to exercise, they say, okay, what if I walk? So I tell them, if you walk, you're just warming up. Okay, so walking is good, but it's not really your objective. You have to walk. Yes, you're going to walk, but you should be walking every day anyway, in addition to your exercise, right? So walking, yes, but it's not the top of the list. Okay, walking is great, Now, if you're going to walk, I've seen some of our friends in here, they say, yes, I walk 10,000 steps. And I say, that's fantastic. 10,000 steps, depending on the size of your step, is about 7 kilometers, maybe 8 kilometers. So it's a wonderful distance. But remember, the difficult part, especially in Asia, is that we don't have dedicated clean parks to walk. We don't have we don't have the the places to walk properly, right? So, and it can be dangerous because the traffic could be very heavy, and then you have these difficulties, right? So walking is great. I used to walk a lot in a place called Sawangan Golf Club. There was, in fact, an amazing, open, clean, pristine, very green place for golf, but there was hardly anybody playing golf, a few people playing golf, but I used to use that place to walk because there was no traffic, everything green, wonderful place to walk, right? But if I have to go in the street to walk, I will find it very difficult, right? Because it's not really the best place for us to walk, okay? Now, aerobic training is, if you're young and then you're in a certain body shape, you can do aerobic training. But for older people, people, you have to try to use aerobic training with caution. It means don't push it too far. If you do short steps of aerobic training, it's okay. Okay. And then running, I seriously think that running, if you run in a gym on a treadmill for a short time under supervision, it is okay. But running for 1 hour, 2 hours outside when there is pollution, it's dangerous. It damages your knees, especially if you have knee problems, right? It's something that I don't suggest you do. Trust me when I'm telling you. I always tell you this, look at all the marathon runners in the world. They look aged, they look old, and their skin looks extremely old because it's affected by the sun, right? And then the life expectancy, you know how long they live. The runners live the shortest of all the people who do exercise, with exception of the American football quarterbacks. That's the defense people who do American football. They have a life expectancy of 45 years to 50 years, okay? So they died extremely young because of the type of sport they chose, okay? But the runners, the real professional runners, don't really look that well. And then they die young also, unfortunately. So it is a very stressful form of training. People get a good kick out of it, they enjoy it, but it's something you should not really consider, especially if you're older. If you're older than 30, you should not run a lot. Use a short period of running inside the gym, on a treadmill, okay, right? If you want to run in the sand, in the beach, it's good. Or in grass, if there is grass, you can run on the grass for a while. It's very good for your knees. But in the concrete, I think not, okay? So think about that. We can discuss that later on. So what is a sport nutrition? You know, over the years now, we know there is a lot of knowledge on nutrition, okay? So this sport nutrition is supposed to be the knowledge, the understanding that we have to develop a daily eating plan to give the body the fuel for physical activity. So in other words, what knowledge do we have which will help me to prepare an eating plan to produce and to give the body the fuel for physical activity? So a good nutrition for a sport will help you with physical activity. It will help you to repair muscles, to rebuild the body once you exercise, right? And then after hard work, physical work and exercise, you have better recovery, right? So the good nutrition knowledge and nutrition plan is designed for recovery process as well, okay? So currently what we see, and this is something I have to tell you, what I see, there are two things. in the marketplace, that is in TV, or in the internet, on newspapers and magazines, right? That there is a push for sport nutrition, okay? And this sport nutrition, unfortunately, is indeed based on sugar, okay? So I'm not gonna name names, but you see here, you will understand, I don't want to mention any particular products because it's not a good idea. But soft drinks have 40 grams of sugar per can, right? Now, this is 40 grams of sugar. Each of these ones, okay, contains about 4 grams of sugar, 4 spoons of sugar. So in one can, you will have 10 small spoons full of sugar. This is a typical soft drink, and I think you can imagine which ones I'm talking about. And then sports drinks, and this one you see in the marketplace, which is considered to be a sports drink or a drink for sports people, also has high sugar contents. So in this bottle of 600 mils, there is almost 36, 37 grams of sugar. So there is in fact 8 or 9 small teaspoons of sugar added to the bottles. So as you see people drinking this, you remember what you're doing is you are introducing high levels of processed sugar into the body of these people doing exercise, okay? Now, why they use this? I'll tell you why. It's why do they use so much sugar in places like Malaysia, Indonesia, right? Also in the Philippines. It's because people like sweet. Sugar is addictive, okay? It's like a drug. And in fact, some people estimated that sugar is more addictive than cocaine, okay? So if you think narcoba, drugs can actually cause you addiction, or caffeine, or cigarettes, addiction with nicotine, sugar has 3 times more power to make you addicted, right? So the power of addiction of sugar is incredible. It's extremely high. So you'll see in many countries in Asia, unfortunately, massive amount of sugars in everything people eat, in the food, in the drinks, in the coffee, etc., etc. So we see this because they use massive mass marketing. They use a very large, very big amount of money to market these products in the marketplace, but unfortunately, they're not a good choice. Okay. Now, so why are young people using more and more and more nutritional products? And we see a lot of powders in the marketplace. We see a lot of, as I said before, sugary drinks, sports drinks, and that actually supposed to help people that are actually doing bodybuilding, that they're exercising, and they're supposed to improve performance. But what we find is that many of these products cause some serious problems, especially with sugar control, okay? And there is another requirement in that people feel they need help because they're overweight, they're unhealthy, beginning to realize that at a young age, they cannot do physical exercise like older people do, or like other people can do. So young people and the marketplace is going for more for sport nutrition, thinking that they will get the support that they need, that they will get an improvement in their physical exercise, right? And then this could not be further from the truth. Don't believe these stories, because a lot of the products in the market, and let me tell you, there are good products in the market, there are good products, but many of them are actually not necessarily good products for you, and they will not help you to get to where you want to be, okay? Now, let me just tell you what I learned from my work with the athletes and the cycling team, is that there is a big problem with sugar, okay? So what they found was that as the athletes are about to start a race, they're say in half an hour, they are going to have a very important race, they actually drink sports drink which have sugar in them, or they eat things full of sugar, thinking that the sugar is going to provide them with energy for a long time, right? So these athletes are actually thinking, okay, I'm going to start this race or even this boxing match, or I'm going to go for a football match. And I'm going to take sugar, sweet lollies or products that contain sugar, cakes, drinks with sugar, and so on. And what they see is this, is what we call the rebound, okay? It's called insulin hypoglycemia rebound. Do you know when you eat food, what happens to you? The moment you sit down to have your lunch, after 15 minutes, you feel tired, right? You feel sleepy, you want to go to sleep. That's why in some countries, sleeping in the afternoon is called a siesta, okay? And actually, it's actually very smart. In the Philippines, I found this when I lived in the Philippines for many years, that people sleep between 12 and 2, okay? Because they eat at lunchtime, okay? So what happens? Why do you feel tired? If you just had food and you eat, why are you feeling tired, right? And I'll tell you what happens. So when you eat the food or the drink that has sugar, your blood sugar rises very quickly. So your blood sugar goes up very, very fast, okay? So what that does, it produces a response called the insulin response. So your body starts to produce insulin very quickly, okay? And as a result, because of this insulin going up, your blood sugar in your blood actually falls to a level that is lower than what it was before, than when you started. So in other words, that after eating, you get a quick increase in blood sugar, a quick increase in insulin response in the body, and then the sugar drops, precipitates down below the normal levels. So you feel very tired, okay? You feel like you're actually fatigued. You have muscle fatigue. You know what I mean? Muscle tiredness. You feel your muscles feel heavy and you really need to lay down and sleep, okay? Now, many people actually that smoke will smoke more after meals, right? Once they sit to have a meal, immediately after the meal, they feel like they want to smoke a cigarette, right? You probably see that happen quite a lot. And this is because the high sugar, okay, it actually is connected with smoking, and it makes you want to smoke more, okay? So this process that we call hypoglycemia, it means low blood sugar rebound. It happens in sports a lot. And what it's telling us is, do not eat high glycemic index foods, okay, between 30 and 60 minutes before exercise. All right? Do not eat. You can eat after you started to exercise, okay? After you started to exercise, that will not cause this problem. But if you eat before exercise, it has to be low glycemic index. In other words, it has to be a food or a drink that will not increase your blood sugar, okay? This is very important because it will affect you on how you do exercise. Now, here's a link here that I presented for you. You have a look at it in your own time. It's one of the papers that investigated what sugar does to athletes that are actually fasting or they actually ate before exercise. And you'll see the process that I'm explaining to you now. You will see, let me see, where's the, okay. So you will see here that the important issue about sport performance is that we have to have the right level of nutrients, okay? And the nutrients are designed to provide us with what we need. It means we need minerals, we need some carbohydrates, okay? We need fatty acids, fiber, antioxidants, right? We need nutrition in general to produce what we call ATP. Now, this is your energy molecule to move your muscles, right? That is your energy. That is your fuel That is the fuel that runs your body, okay? Your brain, it runs every muscle fiber, it runs every movement that you do. So we have to make ATP to be able to have the energy for muscular activity, right? And digestion of the food becomes extremely important as well, okay? So as you digest the food and you take the right nutrition, together, it will provide the body with the level of elements to produce the right amount of energy. And then to turn the engine on, you have to exercise. So here you have the right engine, you have the right fuel, you have the right car, you have everything right, except that you haven't turned the car on, okay? So once you turn the car on, then it will work perfectly. So for you, turning the car on means start exercising, start moving. I know you haven't exercised most of your life, especially girls that tend to say, I have not exercised since I was a young girl or a young boy. It doesn't matter. You can do it now. Start moving now, no matter how old you are. You can be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you can be 70, you can be 80, you can be 90 or 100 and still benefit from good exercise, right? Okay. Now, so what happens is during exercise, you know that one of the problems that we have is when we exercise and we are not properly trained, we get fatigued, we get very tired, right? Now, this is caused by lactic acid accumulation. This is lactic acid produced by your muscle, which actually slows down and will stop muscle activity, right? So when people are using all the energy that they can for a short time, they will have a lot of lactic acid produced by the muscle cells, right? This lactic acid has to be detoxified. It has to be removed. So if you don't remove it, you will stay tired for a long time. So good body detoxification will remove lactic acid and other toxins as well, and will actually give you the recovery that you need. So, you know, when people in sports, they talk about recovery, right? So recovery means eliminating lactic acid from the muscles as quickly as possible, okay? It's a good detoxification activity of your body to give you the recovery, okay? Now, so what do people do to increase performance? I hear so many incredible things. You know, when we had a wellness program in Malaysia as well, and then we had a gym as well that we set up, and then I used to find people take so many things to increase their performance because they want to exercise, but they don't feel like exercise. They don't want to exercise because they find it boring. They are not used to it. They never did it before. So what they do is they take caffeine, lots of coffee, okay, which can help you a little bit. They take drugs. Some of them take ecstasy. Some of them use methyl crystals. They can use stimulants as well. You know, some of the young people use Red Bull, right? They use Red Bull, which is a soft drink, right? You know, that's what they do. They mix Red Bull with something else, and then they think that this is going to give them a boost. But I think the boost is mostly psychological. But there is an amino acid in Red Bull called taurine, right? Taurine, like a bull, in Spanish is toro. So taurine actually can actually help you momentarily, okay, to or assist you in giving you short-term energy. Now, a lot of people are using Red Bull mixed with alcohol. Young people want to experiment with drugs, so they start with the Red Bull. Now, this type of thing, I advise you not to use. Do not use any of that for exercise. It's further, it's not going to help you. It's going to be dangerous for you. And then often we see people with liver damage, right? Caused by excess stimulation of some of these drinks. Now, some people use steroids, you know, especially the ones that want to do bodybuilding, they use steroids. My advice is don't use steroids unless you want to compete as a bodybuilder, right? You want to go to a professional competition. Steroids could be used, but you need to use something that is legal and that is actually accepted by the medical authorities, and something that is, in fact, that is going to help you, okay? Now, they're not safe, these products. They're very dangerous. Some of them are very, very expensive. I have seen things that are so expensive that it's very difficult to believe that they can actually use these things that are so expensive. And then they create dependency. So a lot of people become dependent on this stimulation, okay? And in reality, they get very few results. Very, very, very few results. So be careful with that. Be alert, be aware that in the marketplace, people are going to try to sell you things that are actually quite dangerous. It's a very big market, illegal market, but very big, okay? So what's the best form of nutrition? What is the 3 basic principles of sport nutrition, okay? Number 1 is you stay hydrated. So you remember what I tell you about hydration before, yeah? You'd have to stay hydrated, but not with water alone, right? Don't use just water or empty water, as I call it, right? You need to use water with minerals or vitamins or something of that nature, or even fiber as well. Now, provide fuel for your muscles. So you need to provide the right protein intake for muscle to develop, okay? And promote optimal recovery of muscle mass after exercise. So you have to provide nutrition, which will help you to recover after much physical exercise, which is that this is what is going to stop you from after 5 minutes and stop exercising, right? The nutrition that you take is going to have to promote your recovery after exercise. In other words, whatever you take has to make you feel good, even though you're not trained for exercise, right? So this is the 3 important principles of sport nutrition. So the supplements, people ask me this question, I will tell you, this is very simple. What supplements should I take for a good workout or a good physical exercise, right? Number 1, low glycemic index, right? You need low glycemic index, okay? This is very important, okay? You need water and minerals for hydration. You need protein to build muscle. You need nutrition to help you with the detoxification and removing lactic acid accumulation in your muscle and your body, right? So based on this, so how do I use supplementation or this product during workout? So this is my advice for you. Now, for pre-workout, okay, I normally use or would use a low glycemic index, for example, like a dietary fruit juice, 5 minutes before exercise. Not 30 minutes, not 1 hour, okay, but just 5 minutes, okay? Intra-workouts, between workouts, I will use water or dietary fruit juice combined with water, right? Between workouts. And after exercise, after I finish my exercise, I feel hungry, I want to eat something. I normally would use a dietary milkshake at least 30 minutes after I stop exercise, right? To get the best recovery and to get the best sensation of energy after exercise, okay? It will also control your hunger. You're not gonna feel hungry anymore. So remember, before workout, do not eat food or drink drinks that have sugar in it. If you do, you have to be immediately when you exercise. But I advise that you use dietary fruit juice 5 minutes before exercise, okay? Now, the Isholution program seems to answer a lot of these questions about exercise. Often I get asked, so can we use Isholution products, especially the 2 very specific products, dietary fruit juice, dietary milkshake? I say absolutely yes, because they have the elements to assist you to have better results with your exercise. You have better outcome and you have better recovery. You have better muscle mass. I can tell you, I've tried the dietary milkshake to help me when I'm doing bodybuilding and I'm getting too big, right? To the point that I need to slow down so that I don't get very, very, very big, right? So I need time, more time to lose some of the fat and then get more muscle, okay? So these are the two that we normally use. And so Isholution can support you with a good diet, key nutrition, right? So it will help you in terms of providing you with the key nutrients for proper physical exercise and training, okay? It will help you in maintaining your weight. So in other words, it's going to help you if you use it as a support to exercise, or you use it in the 14-day program weight loss plan. You know, it will help you to maintain a healthy weight, okay? And it will be very good to remove some of that weight so that you have healthy joints, okay? Now, the protein present in the dietary milkshake will help you to build muscle mass, okay? And you will get a lot of energy, extra energy produced by the body because of the elements of the dietary fruit juice. Now, each one of these combination of products do something different for you, okay? So the dietary fruit juice, it stimulates energy production and it promotes detoxification. So you will find that you can exercise for longer because you will remove the lactic acid accumulated during exercise more effectively, right? Now just imagine, I invite you to go through the details of some of the components of the tropical fruit juice concentrate, which is a combination of very important tropical fruit concentrates. They have antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and good quality fiber, okay? Very, very good quality fiber. And what I call, in many ways, we call them prebiotics as well, which actually are products that help the health of your intestinal system, of your gut, okay? Now, the dietary milkshake stimulates more increases in muscle protein. So in other words, it's gonna help you to have more protein build up in your muscle mass. So your muscles are gonna get stronger and bigger, right? You have better nutrition because of what we call medium chain triglycerides, which are very good protein that can be used to provide energy without sugar, okay? Now, both the dietary fruit juice and the dietary milkshake will work together to support a very healthy gastrointestinal system. And this is one of the main functions of this program, is to increase the function of your intestinal system, of your GI tract, right? Because they have good quality fiber, they have some oligosaccharides, or we call them prebiotics, which are good to include in your daily routine. They will help you if you take them on a regular basis and while you're trying to exercise, okay? So some of the main ingredients in Isholution, and I discussed them to you before, and this is very important that you know what is in these products, okay? Very, very important. And I was very happily surprised to see what a good combination of some of these very essential elements that often we don't get with our diet, okay? So this is both soluble and insoluble fiber, which is very important to have both of them. You have the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. The insoluble fiber will help you to get rid of sugar in your diet. That is the sugar that comes with your food. It will actually be released through your gastrointestinal system and it will not be absorbed. Okay, the soluble fiber stimulates other activities, improves the immune system activities as well, and it will help you to fight infections and to have more resistance against certain types of bacteria and viruses as well. Now, the pomegranate is a very, very important anti-aging component. You know, over the years, a lot of research has been done on pomegranate, and it has shown to have fantastic effects if you use it properly. in controlling the health of your cardiovascular system and the health of your heart. So it's a very potent antioxidant. So is turmeric powder, has the same antioxidant capacity. Inulin is a prebiotic which helps with the gastrointestinal function and improves situations like constipation. It improves hyperreactivity. In other words, too much immune activity of the gastrointestinal system is actually modulated, is reduced, okay? Good source of high quality protein, which we discussed before, tropical fruit powders, medium chain triglycerides, and other components. So imagine these two products contain so much or so many of these very interesting ingredients, which each one of them has a very particular function. And when they work together, they actually provide with extra functions as well. Now, what we are looking for is essentially a program that will help me to maintain exercise routine and energy levels, okay? It's going to help us to lose fat and shape up. In other words, it's going to help us to be, to look sexier and to look better. And it's going to help us to deal with the true causes of aging. Now, often I will tell you, we don't get the support, nutritional support from the diet that we eat. And it doesn't matter how much money you spend. In Indonesia, you can go to farmer's market and spend all your money there because it's actually a very expensive place. But I will guarantee you, like in Australia, the fruit, the food looks amazing, but it has very, very little nutrition, right? Very little nutritional support because it's essentially food, vegetables, it's fruit that are produced artificially with large numbers of pesticides and artificial nutrition for these vegetables and these fruits, okay? So our program, the Isholution program, will improve detoxification, improve your internal energy, and improve your muscle mass and mobility and strength. So altogether, I highly recommend it. I think it's something that I personally use. I find that it helps me in my quest for a healthier lifestyle and also my quest for the eternal fountain of youth, okay? All right, so I think we have some questions now. Let's find Mr. Chen. There he is.
Hi, Dr. Fernando. Thank you so much for your information sharing. I think all of you already know the key to maximize your sport performance. So, and the last page of the Isholution program, you already know it can help you a lot, not only for you, but also for your family. So keep in mind for all this information, okay? So now, as we mentioned, it's the time for the question and answer session. So I will pick some of the question first, yeah, for Dr. Fernando to answer and give you more information. So the
Mr.
first
Chen, I have two quick questions here. Can I answer them?
Okay, no problem.
So yeah. One of them is what is our recommendation for exercise? What is the best time to do exercise? And then is it okay to exercise in the evening, right? So what is the best time? Is it okay to exercise in the evening time? Now, let me tell you something. One thing you have to stop doing in the evening is eating, okay? So if you stop eating at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. or even 9 p.m., okay, you're going to get a lot of benefits, okay? So you will see the benefits. Now, I will show you the studies next time. If you stop eating nighttime, a lot of good things happen. A lot of benefits for you, physically, mentally, and longevity-wise. In other words, you're going to live longer. Now, is it okay to exercise in the evening? Let me tell you. Best time to exercise, of course, is between the time you get up to just before it becomes dark or becomes evening time. So you can exercise at night, you can, but try not to exercise for at least 2 hours before going to sleep. So the best, if you're going to sleep at 12 midnight, then you need to stop exercise at around 9:30, 10 p.m., okay? Roughly. So because if you exercise at night, you will stop melatonin production, and melatonin is produced to make you sleep. So the body produces melatonin to sleep, right? It's a very important antioxidant, which actually controls and repairs the body. So you have to stop at least 2 hours. Don't exercise for 2 hours before going to sleep. That should be your guidelines, okay? But it's not harmful to exercise at night. It's not. There is no evidence that exercising at night should be banned completely, right? The only thing that it does is that it can affect your sleep if you exercise very close to the time you're going to bed, okay? And, there's another question about the dietary fruit juice. Because it stimulates energy production, better don't drink it in the evening to avoid difficulty getting to sleep. That's a very important question. Should I take dietary fruit juice and it will affect my sleep? And funny enough is some people are sensitive to caffeine, so they drink coffee before nighttime. They find it difficult to go to sleep, right? And then if they drink other types of drink like cocoa drink, chocolate drinks, alcoholic drinks, and so on, they find it difficult to go to sleep. Now, I've never found dietary fruit juice to stop a person sleeping, okay? But in reality, if you stop eating or drinking before 9 o'clock, it should be okay. It will not affect your sleep. But I advise you not to drink or eat anything like that after 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. So my answer is, if you drink dietary fruit juice before 9 p.m. is quite okay. Should not affect you. Anyway, Mr. Chen, up to you. Over to you now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Fernando. Okay, so for the question, I just picked. Okay, question 1 is, what is the recommended meal pattern before a sport event?
So the recommended program before an event. So we discussed this already in terms of what is the best way to eat before an event, right? How do we handle that? And so the important thing is, of course, you probably have a question in mind. What if I feel hungry? Okay, before or during workouts. Okay, so how do I prevent that? Okay, now my advice is that you can eat before a workout, but it has to be at least 2 hours before workout. In other words, that you can eat and you can entertain a meal or a small meal before exercise, but 2 hours before the event, before you exercise, okay? But if you're going to take something like a dietary fruit juice, which is what I do, take a small amount of dietary fruit juice just before I exercise. So in other words, 5 minutes before exercise is quite okay. Number one, because dietary fruit juice will not increase my blood sugar. So I will not get the rebound, the effect that we see often when you'll feel tired after eating something or drinking something before exercise, okay? So you can use small amounts of protein, like dietary milkshake protein, for before exercise. I'm talking about for at least an hour, 2 hours before exercise, but definitely after exercise. So in effect, I would say to you, if you want to use a meal or you want to use a drink to help you with sports events, take it 5 minutes before the event starts, okay? You can actually take dietary fruit juice, you can take dietary milkshake 5 minutes before the event, okay? That's the best time. And then you will not see the side effects of hypoglycemia. In fact, you're gonna feel a lot better. And after the event, then you will actually use dietary milkshake to control your hunger, to make you feel full, and to give you the nutrition that you need for recovery, okay? So that's the best way to do it. But I would not recommend that you eat a lot 1 hour before exercise. That's not a good idea. But short time, let's say 5 minutes before, with dietary fruit juice or dietary milkshake, you can use to help you in the program, in the exercise, and then after the event to help you build muscle. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fernando. The second question is, does the adolescent athlete need vitamin and mineral supplement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The young athlete.
So so there's a much bigger question here, right? There's a much bigger question. Do young people need to take vitamins and mineral, right? Very big question. Correct. And then not just young athletes, but do young people, and I'll tell you, young people and children live in the same world that we live in, right? And then they share with us the same food that comes from the, from agriculture, from the farms, which is full of pesticides and herbicides. It's genetically engineered food, right? Correct? So it's genetically engineered food. They share the same things. And also they share with us the low quality, low nutrition value of the food that we buy in supermarkets. Okay, unless it's an organic, certified organic food. So the answer is absolutely yes, because the big problem here is that you see children, they're overweight, okay? The overweight children are in fact suffering from malnutrition. You get my point, right? That these very big babies you see there, very large babies, are not healthy, okay? They are not healthy. And the young adolescents and the young children, also overweight, they look like they're, they have a lot of nutrition, but that is not nutrition, that is fat. And fat is not nutrition. So I'm saying to you that the children, athletes or not athletes, they do need vitamins and minerals consistently, especially them, because of the nutrition deficiencies that we have in our modern diet, right? So our modern diet is very deficient. It's lacking nutrition. It's lacking proper supplementation, right? So the children need it more than us. So who should be taking supplements? I'll tell you the truth. The truth is that the young people should be taking the supplements, not necessarily us, before us, okay? Because we don't need the supplementation like they need. So children, adolescents, young teenagers, young adults, all of them need good vitamin and mineral supplementation. Trust me on this. If you look at how they grow the food that we live on, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. They use chemical farming to produce green elements and fruits that have no nutritional value. They have zero vitamin C, zero vitamin A. They have no iron. They have no elements to assist young people to grow healthy, okay? We can use ISO products to fill the nutritional gap, which is lacking in normal diet, right? So it is a perfect complement for your daily nutrition and daily diet, yeah? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dr. Fernando. The next question is, how can I gain muscle and lose fat?
So this we cover, Chan, we covered this before. We can talk again in the future, which is essentially that gaining muscle and losing fat is the true nature of weight control or weight loss, right? So when people talk about lose fat, they talk about weight loss, okay? But we need to lose weight. In other words, we need to lose fat and gain muscle, okay? So how can an athlete minimize muscle loss, okay? So you have to control your calories, which will help you to increase fat loss. In other words, less calories, you will lose more fat. if you take protein, a good protein also, while you're losing fat, you will increase muscle. So the muscle mass will increase. If you don't take supplements, then you will lose muscle, okay? So that you're gonna lose fat and you're gonna lose muscle. But really you don't want that. You want to lose fat and get more muscle in your body, right? That is the healthy combination. And for that, you need good nutrition. So in other words, number one, we need less calorie, control your calorie intake, all right? And have good nutritional value and good protein intake. And that will assist you to do the same thing again, lose fat, increase muscle, okay? Go ahead. Okay.
Okay, now I saw a lot of our audience also have more questions. Okay, now I will pick some two more questions. Okay.
Okay.
One I will invite our audience here. First is Ibu Intan. Okay. Ibu Intan.
Hello.
Hello, Bu.
Yeah.
Hello, great, Bu. Can you share your question to Fernando?
Yeah. Maybe they can write it.
Okay.
They can write the question, yeah, in the chat.
Yeah, Dr. Fernando.
Yes.
I do intermittent fasting,
Okay.
16. Yeah. I work out, walking the steps 2 hours before my first meal.
Okay, so you're doing, let me see if I get it correct. You're doing intermittent training, 8 hours, 16A, right?
Intermittent fasting.
Fasting. Okay, so you're doing intermittent fasting, 16-8. That's very good. That's fantastic. And then 2 hours before your exercise, you have your meal. Is that correct?
No. I work out hours before my first meal.
Okay, so that's good. No, it's
so
good.
I worry about my I'm worried about my nutrition because it's still empty, no nutrition.
Now, okay, I got your question. So look, you look at us, right? Do we look like we lack in nutrition? No. We have too much nutrition. So you have too much food of every type. So I will give you some advice. But the best way to control your weight and have the right nutrition is you exercise immediately after your meal. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but that's not good, right? That's not good. I will tell you the truth that if you exercise straight after your meal, you will get a lot of benefits. A lot of good things happen, right? By exercising immediately, 5 minutes or 10 minutes after you eat. Now, I know it goes against what people believe. And people have this belief that you should rest after you eat, okay? Now, if you rest after you eat, you get fatter, you get bigger, right? That's why they tell you, do not eat before going to sleep, right? Don't eat before going to sleep because you get fatter, you get bigger, okay? So my advice for you is, if you eat any meals or any plan, part of the plan, Isholution plan, you can exercise immediately. Exercise immediately. There is no need to wait 1 hour, 2 hours, or anything like that, okay? And then, if you exercise, you can actually, after 30 minutes, you can use the dietary milkshake to replenish the protein in your body, okay? So remember what I'm saying to you is like this. You eat normal food, exercise immediately, okay? If you eat normal food, I'm not talking about dietary milkshake or dietary fruit juice. I'm saying when you eat your lunch or you eat your dinner, okay? I always exercise 5 minutes after I eat. because it helps me, when you eat, you feel tired and sleepy, right? And then, so it helps me to have more energy and not to feel tired, not to feel sleepy. So, and also it stops me from absorbing sugar and from getting bigger in terms of fat. So if you exercise after a meal, you will get many benefits. And I will tell you just one more thing. The athletes, the professional sports people, they always exercise after food, except for the swimmers. The people who swim professionally don't swim after meals, but with all the other exercises, professional exercise, they all exercise after food. There is no rest, because the moment you rest after food, you get bigger, you get fatter, right? So that's my advice for you. Okay, I have another question here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So it is okay if I my first meal after 2 hours after workout, because I work out in the morning.
Yes.
And
yes. Yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah, yeah, it's quite okay.
Okay.
So it's quite okay. So you can in fact have your meals 2 or 3 hours after exercise. You don't have to eat after exercise. You don't have to. It's not necessary, because the body is in the process of recovery, right? But the fat burning fat and building muscle happens over a much longer period of time. So you can eat 2 hours or 3 hours later, and you will get benefits, right? It's quite okay. It's good. Thank you for your question. Now I have one more question. I have one more question here. Maybe it's good for everybody. I saw it here. It's okay. Oh no, I got that. Oh no, yeah, it's a very interesting question here. It says like this from, I think it's Lenny. I think she said, Dr. Fernando, is that okay if I always mix banana with milkshake or 1 spoon of cocoa powder with milkshake? My answer is, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't mix banana with milkshake, right? Because I'll tell you why. You're taking the milkshake to, you have your plan. So the plan is 2 weeks plan. So you're trying to control your calories, okay? So we say you take the dietary fruit juice for breakfast, mid-morning, then you have a small lunch, and then you have dietary fruit juice in the afternoon, and then for dinner, you take your dietary milkshake, okay? So you're trying to control the calories, but if you add a banana is very rich in sugar, very rich in calories as well, right? So when you add a banana for flavor to the milkshake, you change the balance of the calories, okay? You're changing the function of the product. You understand that, right? So my advice is, don't do that. Follow the plan exactly as we say to you. Follow the plan as is planned. Don't add anything to your milkshake. Don't add bananas. Don't add fruit, because it changes the product and it changes the calories, right? So I know a lot of people will automatically tend to do that. And some people add cocoa powder with the milkshake. Personally, I'll say don't do it. Stay with the original. I think the milkshake is vanilla, right? Let me see. Milkshake is vanilla, correct? So it has rasa vanilla. So the taste is vanilla, okay? So I would say don't add anything to the milkshake. Don't add anything to the dietary fruit juice. Just leave them alone as they are. Use them according to instructions. But then you can play around with the calories in your lunch, right? Or your dinner, okay? But don't change the product, because the products are designed to work in a certain way. Okay, they are designed to operate in a certain way, and if you add something to the product that is not water, something else, a fruit or something else, you will change the product. It's not going to work for you the same way as it was designed. It was engineered to work in a certain way. Okay, so my advice is don't add anything to the dietary milkshake. Don't add anything to dietary fruit juice. Just use them as they are. Okay, Mr. Chen, I'll leave it up to you.
Hi, Dr. Fernando.
Yes.
One more question because the
Yes.
audience contact me is Bu Denti. Yeah? Okay.
Mhm.
The last question.
Okay.
Hello, Denti.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
Good-
hello.
Oh,
Hello,
there you
good-
are.
good
We can see
evening.
you.
Okay.
We can see you.
This is the question from my team. They cannot speak English, so I
You will translate. You will translate.
okay. Dr. Fernando said that consume ISO must be accompanied by exercise.
Right.
Exercise. Nah, two of my team they have pinch nerves, saraf kejepit,
Right.
and
Yes.
GERD
Okay.
and GERD.
Yep. So they have.
I
nerve.
suggest them to still do exercise, but
Okay.
they worry. They
Okay.
worry
Well,
that the exercise will stimulate their sickness.
Well, let me tell you the truth. Okay, the truth
Is that the
when you
best way to exercise for them?
Yes, there is. Now, if you have a pinched nerve, in other words, you have the cartilage between your vertebrae is pushing out onto the nerves, okay, because of position, because of accident, or you have another problem. The worst thing you can do, okay, now listen to what I'm saying to you. The worst situation is to do not exercise. So if you're going to a good therapist or a good doctor or a good hospital, they will tell you you have to move. Even if you are in pain, you have to move, because the more you move, the less the pain later on. Okay, but if you sit down after, because you have back pain and you don't exercise with the right exercise, of course, you will never get out of the chair. Okay, you will never walk again. And this is what we see all the time, right? You have to move, you have to exercise, gentle exercise, because it's painful. Now, they can go to a swimming pool, for example, and then do swimming, okay? And swim, the water will lift the weight of the person so they can actually move without pain, right? So swimming is very good. Now, they can do a lot of stretching exercises. There's many. I can actually provide the information to Biswell, and then they can send to you. There's a lot of stretching exercises to improve the conditions of the muscles in your back so that the nerve pinching doesn't happen, okay? So you can even exercise while you're sitting down. If I'm sitting down here, I can exercise, yeah? I don't have to run. I can use my legs and exercise my legs while I'm sitting down. So there is no excuse for not exercising, right? And then they have a pinched nerve, they have to exercise more. Trust me when I'm telling you, more. The more you exercise, the less pain, okay? Now, the other patient has GERD, so it has reflux, acid reflux, right? So to this patient, I would say that you have acid reflux, okay? You have to find a solution for this acid reflux. Often, the causes of acid reflux could be many, right? But you have to treat it. Whether you use Isholution product or not, you still have to treat the acid reflux. So you need some medical advice. The doctors normally will give you medication to control acid reflux. They will change your diet, and I will give you one advice. If you're in Indonesia, tell this patient to stop eating fried food, right? No fried food, which means they have to change the diet radically. You know, Indonesian food is very delicious, right? Indonesian food is keren, right? It's very, very nice food. But unfortunately, they use a lot of deep frying, right? Goreng, is that right? Deep frying. And then that is one of the major problems, triggers of GERD, of acid reflux, right? So they must stop eating a lot of fried food. They need a natural diet. They should, in fact, I really think that if they use the dietary milkshake and the dietary fruit juice, they will not get GERD, right? Because it will stop them from using the food, the Indonesian food that is producing the GERD for them, the acidity for them. So they need to change their lifestyle. They need to change their food that they eat. If they have Helicobacter pylori, which is the bacteria, it's called HP, Helicobacter pylori. It's the bacteria that causes irritation in the stomach. And then they have acidity, right? Now, they need a medical checkup. They need to go to a doctor. They need to check up and get treatment, okay? Because if it's a serious problem like that, if it's very serious, it should be treated, right? You know, it should be treated. Whether you use Isholution program or not, you have to treat it, right? Because you cannot spend your life with acid reflux after every meal. It's very uncomfortable. It's very painful, right? So they need treatment. So I advise you, fix the problem of GERD. And I think the Isholution program will help you to reduce that, but they need to go to a doctor and get some treatment, right? Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Chen?
Yeah, I think the time is limited. Sorry, Dr. Fernando, for
That's
today's
okay.
sharing.
No
Yeah, but no worry. I saw some of our audience still have question comes. No problem. I will take all the record, and also I will share to product team and also Dr. Fernando for the answer, and we will share back to the branch. So no worry. Just contact our branch, then we'll give you the answer. And also very important to start today's sharing is about doing exercise, doing sports. So Isholution program with exercising, workout will be very important for you and also for your family. Okay. So now let's share you some more information. It's about the Isholution product and our package. Okay. So as Dr. Fernando shared you, we have the 14 days program, we have the detoxification program, and also have the maintenance program. So you can choose the one which fits your demand. And basically it's 14 days program. So now we have the product package. Okay, if you buy 2 boxes of milk and 2 boxes of juice, then you get 1 box of juice for free. Okay, and if you want to have a 1 month consumption, that means 28 days. So you buy 4 boxes of iso milk and 4 boxes of iso juice, you get 2 boxes of iso juice for free. And okay, if anybody want to take more time, longer, and for more better performance, okay, 56 days package. Okay, you buy 8 boxes of milk and 8 boxes of juice, then you get 2 boxes of juice for free and 1 box of iso milk for free. So this is more than 2 months consumption, okay, which benefits to you and also for your family. Okay, so this is all the package. And the second coming is the Isholution challenge round 3. We already start in the middle of November. So please take this opportunity and share your experience about having the ISO product to the social media and share to more of your friends to know, okay, the experience of Isholution and your healthy lifestyle. Okay, so don't forget, just keep posting. Okay, we have 1 more weeks. Yeah, 10 day, actually it's 10 day left for the round 3. Okay, thank you for all this. And also thanks Dr. Fernando for today's sharing. So we will have the opportunity to invite Dr. Fernando to share more information just like today to all of you for keeping your body healthy. Yeah, so thank you so much. And also, please open your mic and camera. Also say thank you to Dr. Fernando. And waiting to see you soon.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Fernando.
Thank you, Dr.
Fernando.
Dr. Fernando.
Thank you, Dr. Fernando. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Fernando. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Thank
everyone,
you.
and thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr.
Fernando.
Fernando.
So please
Thank you, Mr.
follow
Alexas.
peaceful.com
Yeah,
for more
thank you, Mr. Alexas, as
information.
well. Thank
Also
you.
our Facebook account. Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, and waiting to see you soon next
Okay,
week.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Take
Goodbye.
care.
Good
Bye-bye. Take
night.
care.